Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The single best idea is that the team gets some sleep. Starting at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock last night, our world was blown up by the announcement by the president of a selection as a nominee for Federal Reserve Chairman. This is a big deal. I mean, you go back to 1951 and President Truman and McChesney Martin. The basic idea here is this is rarer than you think. We don't see this every 4 years. We don't see this every 2 years. We see this once in a great while, like Alan Greenspan in 1987, and here, presumably with Kevin Warsh, we'll see an announcement from the president and then what seems to be a fractious Senate Banking Committee process. We chose to get many different perspectives. Our wonderful guests rallied today. There were guests that were canceled. We literally had one guest who couldn't get to us because the trains were stuck under the Hudson River in this brutal cold. We reached out to Neil Dutta of Renaissance Macro. We spoke to Neil Dutta about this moment at hand. He is critical of Kevin Warsh.
Was it something I said? I don't think I stuttered, Tom. Well, he is everyone's least favorite candidate. I mean, to me, look, the main criticism I have of Kevin Warsh is lack of judgment, okay? Because his performance during the financial crisis was not a particularly good one. And I think you could say, arguably, that it is disqualifying. I mean, to be that concerned about inflation at a time when the unemployment rate was rising very rapidly, kind of strains credulity. And in the years since, everyone makes bad calls, okay? I mean, I was market street economist for a while. I've made bad calls. Everyone makes bad calls. The issue is when you make bad calls and you're always wrong in the same direction, that to me shows open-mindedness.
Neil Dutta there with more of a long-term perspective. Claudia Sahm with us and all of her work for us on Jobs Day. She's with us at 8:30 right when those headlines come out. But she's far more an esteemed person with Fed experience, with a real understanding of the challenges of success and failure at the Fed. And she was really humble today about the criticism Mr. Warsh has had of her Federal Reserve System. Here is Claudia Sahm.
I was at the Fed when Kevin Warsh was a governor. I've, watched him in action as a policymaker. I've certainly followed his comments since then. I mean, there's a lot about his track record and his recent comments about what we see in the economy and what's appropriate for interest rates. All that said, I think the conversation about Kevin Warsh, and again today, he got the nomination. He's not the Fed chair yet.
Claudia Sahm, looking forward to the Senate Banking Committee process that we will see in the coming weeks. We're out on podcasts, on Apple, on Spotify, on YouTube podcasts at Single Best Idea.